I think if there's this thing inside of me sometimes that I feel like people don't trust me one-on-one.
They don't trust you?
Or there's some trust thing. Maybe it's not me. I don't know. I'm trying to think about.
You don't trust them, maybe?
No, I don't know. I'm trying to think of as we're talking about this. I'm trying to like feel it at the same time and see what I'm feeling about it.
Right?
Because it's interesting to me because I love thinking about this kind of stuff. Right. And trying to figure out why I operate or why we operate certain ways.
Right.
Yeah, I think sometimes I don't know. It's hard for me to maybe say what's going on sometimes. Sometimes I don't know what's going on. Sometimes I like just, if I talk with somebody, and then some of the biggest conversations I have are on podcasting now. It's like, that's when I'll talk the most. And so I'll sit there and have moments that are like, that's kind of my biggest conversations.
Well, it's kind of the only time you have real conversations, because every other time you have conversations, there's usually multiple people around and everyone's checking their phone. And everyone's going in and out of the room, and everyone's going to take a leak, like green room conversations. They're real. It's kind of almost like a podcast in and of itself, right? But
yeah, it's fun.
But there's also people showing each other funny memes, and we're all watching videos of fucked up things that happened.
Yeah, listening to music, joking around. That's a little bit more of a bigger atmosphere,
right? But the point is, it's like you don't have these kind of conversations outside of podcasts. The only time you or I have these kind of conversations is right in front of each other, where we agree we're going to just sit and talk for like 3 fucking hours with no interruptions.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird, but I feel like in that form you get relaxed. And in that form you talk about yourself, like honestly, you're introspective and open about it, which I find very fascinating that you don't do that privately.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. It is kind of interesting. Yeah. I don't know why either. I think maybe there's something where like I thought like I have to there's something inside of me that has to be of value or something. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out.
You don't want to be a burden maybe? Like you don't want to annoy people talking about your problems. So here's the thing, like when you started talking about like having issues in life, I was shocked because I've thought about all the times that I'm with you. Like Theo's always the life of the party. We're always having fun. I don't get it. Like how could he possibly be not doing well? That don't even make sense to me. Yeah. I was like, everybody loves him. He's so fun to be around. Like why would you not feel good? That doesn't make sense. So then I had to listen to you talk like in podcasts, and I was like, oh, okay. Well, there's some ways that he talks publicly that you don't necessarily talk a lot privately. So like your friends sometimes don't even know if things aren't going so well.
Well, I think for some reason, whenever I started podcasting, I started to kind of have a conversation with myself for like sometimes the first time in my life, maybe, where I was like having like some dialogue with myself,
Because you did a lot of them solo too, right?
Yeah, probably the first 100 or something were solo or something, pretty much.
Yeah.
And so I think.
So then you're forcing yourself to do a totally new thing, which is to not just like go on momentum, but to actually think about something for like at least an hour, where you're talking and just thinking about stuff.
Yeah, and that was probably the most fun I ever had in some ways, I think. And also it was like a learning. And then now like people can call in our show and they'll leave voicemails, and so sometimes we'll listen to those and talk about that kind of stuff. Yeah. And that's something I want to get more into because that's something that I like really care about, Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know why some ways are easier for me than others. I have thought about that before, though.
Yeah.
I have thought about that. It's the same reason, like even being like in a relationship. I remember like when I was like would get in a relationship with a woman. It was so hard for me to like look at them or like to be super close. Like that was super hard. But it was easy for me to have a microphone and talk to people in a group. Right. Like there's some things that are just like I just feel like a lot of like pressure. I feel like when I was in like that kind of situation, like I think there was something about it. Like if somebody, I don't know. I think there was always a part of me like when I was young, like if I looked somebody in the eyes or something, like they weren't gonna believe me.
Really?
Does that make any sense at all? I know it's a weird thing to say, but
no, it does make sense.
There was a part of me like
yeah.
And I'm not trying to like self-pity or like look at like do I seem like I'm being self-pity?